We saw Tyler Vogel make his debut at BKFC 14. And guess what, fight fans? You get to see him again at BKFC 15. I've got the interview next. Hey there, Bare Knuckle fight fans. Look who I have in the house today. Tyler Vogel. How are you today, Tyler?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. Now, I know a lot of our fans want to hear you break down your recent fight at BKFC 14, but we have a lot more important stuff to talk about first, but we will get to that later. What the heck, Tyler? You're fighting again at BKFC 15?
Yeah, I feel healthy. I feel good. I'm really excited for the quick turnaround.
How do you do that with a quick turnaround? I mean, obviously you folks all stay in really good physical shape, but what about mentally?
Mentally, I'm trained to go whenever, I'm an old school fighter at heart. I'm kind of young. I like to stay active and keep the ball rolling.
All right, we got to talk about your opponent now. Dakota Cochrane. How do you think you match up with him stylistically?
Stylistically, he fits, it's kind of like tailored more toward my style. I kind of like to keep people on the outside. I've watched a couple of his films. I usually don't do that. He comes in, tries to clinch, tries to land big bombs, and it's like tailored to what I want to do in the fight.
I heard a rumor that no one really wanted to step up to the plate and fight him.
I don't know. I haven't heard the rumor. What I've heard on the business side of it is he likes to pick his opponents, and that's why everybody's so-called scared of him,
Both Bostwick at your last fight at BKFC 14 and Cochrane are lefties. How do you change your style up for that then?
I have specific sparring partners that I brought in for both of these opponents, and I kind of just brought them back in, and similar to height, similar to size, and I actually got some work in last night with some of them, and it felt good to get back in there. I felt sharp.
What is the most exciting aspect, you think, for fans when they tune in to see this fight? What makes Dakota Cochrane and Tyler Vogel a must-see fight?
I'm a must-see fighter. My last fight was debut, and what I do, I made history and win another round.
If you win over Dakota, do you have anybody that you want to fight next?
I don't know about the if part. I plan on winning, and there's some big nose guy that was running around talking crap and kind of stormed me before my last fight, and I don't really want to give him any clout, but I guess I can, and his name is Hector Lombard.
Speaking of Hector Lombard, I heard you guys were in a bit of a scuffle at BKFC 14.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of pre-fight, about to walk out, everything's rushing through my brain, and that's my time to get into the zone, and he came into my zone, and it's kill or be killed in this sport, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, I said, "What's up?" And next thing you know, he was running at me, and I was running at him.
Well, props to Hector Lombard. I think that would be an excellent fight. How do you think you match up with him, though?
It's the same. He's short, like these other midgets I'll be fighting, he's all ballooned. He's going to get tired, and I'm just going to pick him apart and take my shot and take what's mine.
All right, now we have to do a breakdown of the amazing action at BKFC 14. It was really a war between you and your opponent. Can you break that fight down for us, please?
Yeah, the first round I kind of like to take time to gather my composure and see what he has to offer, and I ate some of his shots on the chin and kept coming. I felt like I picked him apart with my jab. I landed what I had to land, and then as the fight wore on, I set my traps, and I took my traps, and luckily he could take them. I split his lip up, broke him down, wore him down, and if you look at the fight and rewatched it, I wasn't on the ropes in between rounds bending over tired. I was walking around ready to go.
It's probably a good time, Tyler, for our fans to get to know you a little bit better, because I kind of know all about your illustrious fighting combat sports background, but maybe some of our new BKFC fight fans don't. So go ahead and give us a little sort of recap of your fight history and your resume.
I kind of grew up in the Midwest, North Dakota, and wrestling is huge here. So I wrestled in high school at a pretty good high school. We won 11 state titles in a row. And I went on to college. I walked on a wrestling program, and college honestly wasn't for me. And I was looking for an outlet and a way to compete. And I went to a show, and they asked me if I wanted to fight last minute, and I signed up. And honestly, I fell in love. I knocked the kid out in the first round. I believe it was at heavyweight too. And when they were announcing the winner, I was like, well, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. But at the same time, like if I'm gonna pursue this, I have to get way better. So right then and there, I dove into the gym twice a day for pretty much till now, honestly.
Speaking of fighting, what was my friend Paul Tyler doing in your corner, by the way?
Honestly, Paul, probably know the business like I do. There's a lot of snakes and people try to make money off you and whatnot. And Paul literally is one of my good friends in the business and has my back like not a lot of people have your back, you know? And without Paul, I don't think I'd be here today.
Yeah, it's so important to have a good support team, whether it's your family or a friend or, just anybody that you can lean on. Because a lot of people don't realize and understand that a good part of the preparation for the fight is the mental. And if you're stressed or doing something else, you just can't deal with that stuff. By the way, I want to thank Paul Tyler from BKB Management right now for setting up this interview before I forget. So Tyler, it was your first bare knuckle fight, and I thought you did quite well. But what did you learn from that fight that you can take into this next fight with Dakota Cochrane?
Honestly, between boxing and MMA, your punches, boxers want to load up and MMA want to load up. Bare knuckle, you can't really load up. You got to kind of half-ass throw your shots. And I kind of learned on that, and I've kind of tailored my training more between my physical and my mental and my speed training to tailor bare knuckle. I'm doing a lot more leg and explosive movements, but yet when I spar and whatnot, I'm throwing punches, but I'm not throwing all my power with it. And the way you place your hands, and it's pretty crucial, I learned, because my hands ballooned up after my last fight. And so you got to place your shots the right way, and you got to not throw 100% power.
It's funny you mentioned that, because when I last interviewed you, we both thought you had broke your hand.
Yeah, I've never experienced anything like that. My hand looked like I had 3 hands in one, and I for sure thought it was broke, but nope, I got some Fusion CBD rub on it, and I rubbed it on there, and I iced my hands, and I've been back training since the Sunday after my fight, and I'm ready to go again.
Good for you. You have such a great boxing background, but not all boxers have been able to make the transition into bare knuckle. How were you able to adapt so quickly to this new style of fighting?
When I did MMA, I was more of a dirty boxer and sprawl and brawl. And then boxing-wise, I used to get in trouble a lot because I would push people, clinch people up, and bare knuckle completely tailored to my style between clinching and holding and catching and shooting. And I honestly found like I found my actual true sport where I truly belong.
Good for you. So do you think you're going to stay in bare knuckle, or you still want to fight boxing?
I'm going for all the titles at my weight classes.
All right. I want to take a moment to thank Tyler Vogel for taking the opportunity to interview with Bare Knuckle News today. Before we go, Tyler, is there anything else you would like to add? And please give our viewers your social media handles.
Yeah, my social media handles are all the same. It's at The Truth Tyler or at The Truth Ty. And Dakota, be ready, because I'm not scared of you.
BKFC 15 goes down Friday, December 11th from Biloxi, Mississippi. And we will be there bringing you all the beautiful bloody action as always. Help a girl out, smash that subscribe button, share this video, and leave me a comment below. I'm Susan Cingari, and remember, no one beats us to the punch.